Hey guys, what's going on, dudes? It is David here. We are back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, we're going to be talking about NFL, and when it comes to NFL, we're going to be talking about, again, this. When you see me do most NFL videos, if they're not talking about the draft year, not talking about the playoffs, it's going to be about the Falcons, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons, what we're going to be talking about is Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, who are now confirmed to be staying at the team. The Falcons had not explored any trade options. They received no options. They didn't take any calls when it came to trading Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, and I'm all for that. Like, people look at this year and people look like, oh, Matt Ryan's no longer up there, or Matt Ryan's on the downhill. How are you saying Matt Ryan is really on the downhill? First of all, do you not realize the biggest problem when it came to the Falcons team wasn't the offense, it was our freaking defense. Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, alright, I'll be honest, Julio Jones had a down season, but that's only due to him being plagued with injuries. But the thing is, the fact that Julio Jones didn't play that much, it elevated other players to get better. Ito Smith had a good season. Calvin Ridley balled out. He was our best wide receiver in the Falcons team. What's his name? Russell Gage had a very good season, and Zacchaeus, if he didn't get injured in some of those games, he would have had a very good season. So this Falcons offense is really, really good. I mean, look at the offensive line. Jake Matthews, he's getting up there in age. He's about to be, 30, 31 years old. At left tackle, left guard, I'd probably say is the guy we just drafted last year, Matt Hennessy. Center is Alex Mack, who's definitely getting on there in age. He's like 35 or 36 right now. Right guard, we have I would probably say our best offensive lineman in Chris Lindstrom. And then right tackle, we have Caleb McGray, who could probably kick inside if we end up getting a tackle in the draft. So that offensive line, that offensive line, I mean, it's kind of a good thing, because you have some experienced players in the offensive line, and you got some young players in the offensive line who can learn from guys like Alex Mack and Jake Matthews, who can get better due to the experience from Alex Mack and Jake Matthews, and they can eventually get better in the future. Now, obviously, there are going to be some cuts that the Falcons are going to need to do, because we're in calorie sap hell right now. And when it comes to that, the first guy I want to say is that guy on the offense, Jake Carpenter. I think that's his name. Who I don't even know how he's getting paid the much money that he is, but we would say $4 million if we cut him. What's his name? The defensive end, Bailey, I think his name is Jordan Bailey. We would save at least $2 million cutting him. So those are some of the options when it comes to this. But talking about the quarterback and the wide receiver, there is no way, there's no reason the Falcons should need to get rid of Matt Ryan for at least another 2 years. Another 2 years. Matt Ryan has, I would probably say, another 2 years at where he's currently playing at. Because I understand. I mean, look at the other quarterbacks that have been traded recently. Matthew Stafford has been traded. Jared Goff, who's younger than Matthew Stafford, is about a year or two behind Matt Ryan in age. And Matthew Stafford, if he's playing on a good team, he's still a very good quarterback, and he can still take a team to the playoffs. And speaking about the season in the Falcons, I've seen a lot of comments on most of my videos talking about the Falcons were 0-5, so we were already tanking. If we were tanking at 0-5, then how come they never eliminated us from playoff contention? We were never eliminated from playoff contention until about week 11 or 12. That is for sure. I follow NFL on Instagram. They never eliminated us to about, I'd probably say, at earliest, I say week 8 or 9, and the latest is probably week 11 or 12. They never eliminated us when we were 0-5, because we still had a shot at the playoffs. And for all the people that were saying that Raheem Morris thought we were 0-5, and so that he should, he made us tank so we could get a good draft pick. That is such a stupid idea. That's just a stupid way of thinking. The only reason we were 0-5 at the time is because we couldn't keep the lead. We couldn't keep the lead in a game. We should have beat Dallas. We should have beat Chicago. We should have beat Detroit. You know what our record would be if we had won those games? we would have been 7-9. 7-9 had we won those games. And there's a couple of games I could think of. We should have beat the Bucks in the first game. What does that mean? That means we're 8-8. So if we had won those 4 games that we should have won, this has nothing to do with us tanking. If we had won those 4 games, which we definitely should have won, we would have been 8-8. So we were not tanking. The Falcons were never, ever tanking for a good draft pick. Really? Really? And I would honestly rather take us being 7-9 or 8-8 because that means we could get at least a good defensive player rather than, you know, like, oh, what are the Falcons going to do? The Falcons should the Falcons trade back? At least then we would know the Falcons are probably going to go for a defensive draft pick. But now that we're 4-12, everybody's saying that the Falcons are going to be taking a quarterback because Matt, you know, like to learn from Matt Ryan and eventually replace Matt Ryan. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when it comes to the draft. But in my honest opinion, Matt Ryan, and there's no way the Falcons are drafting a wide receiver. We have plenty of wide receivers that can take over for when Julio Jones eventually does lead the team or eventually retires as an Atlanta Falcon. But in terms of the Matt Ryan situation, there's no reason the Falcons there's no reason the Falcons would ever have traded Matt Ryan or Julio Jones, and there's no way the Falcons were ever taking this year. The Falcons were never going to be tanking in the first place. Whether we started the season, whether we were 0-5, whether we finished 4-12, the Falcons were never ever tanking because we tried to win most games when we were after we were 0-5. Really? We lost 7 more games and picked up 4 wins? Really? We were 4-7 to end the season? And 2 of those games we probably should have won, so we should have at least been like, we should have a winning record to the end of the season after the 0-5 thing? There's nothing really you can say. The Falcons should have been at least a 7-9 or 8-8 team if it wasn't for us blowing these leads. So when it comes to this type of situation with the Falcons and Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, the Falcons were never tanking. That's my last opinion about it. The Falcons were never ever tanking. I saw a comment on one of my videos that said the Falcons were tanking because Raheem Morris saw we were 0-5 and he just thought, oh, let me just tank so I can get them a good draft pick. That is a stupid way of thinking. There's no reason the Falcons should ever be tanking. We just couldn't keep a lead. We just keep blowing leads. That's the reason why we got this record. If it wasn't for us blowing leads, we wouldn't have had this record and we would have been a better team than we are right now. But we'll go into the NFL draft. If we select the quarterback, we select the quarterback. If we select the defensive player, if we trade back, I would love the Falcons to trade back and get some extra picks because that'll be a very good way to solve this defense. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please do smash the like button. I'll be posting more sports content for you guys to see in the coming days. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notification so you know my videos go live. But anyway, guys, I will see you guys all later. Peace.